Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Mlemba Ndonji, and today I just want us to look through growing and influencing in the digital world. It's an analysis of select African content creators' YouTube channels that I've been interacting with over a period of time. So this will be the outline of my presentation here. Basically, I'm looking at it from the digital space, which has over the last years grown globally. And according to YouTube, about 1 billion hours of video content is watched daily on YouTube. And really, that is massive. That is a lot of people watching YouTube. For Africans, this for us has meant that we have an opportunity to tell our own stories and also change the narrative around what it means to be African and also how people view African. So in a sense, this digital platform, YouTube, has really given us, has empowered us to be able to tell those stories that previously were being told by others. And so I feel like a lot more people have a holistic idea of what Africa truly is. Some of these presentations that are going to be in my presentation here is just to really analyze the growth trends of 5 African content creators over just 5 videos. The objective is to really determine the growth of these 5 African YouTube channels over a period of time, which has just been like a 12-day period, and also to just provide speculation on what leads to changes in viewership over a period of time. And this is also because I have interacted with these channels and I feel like I know them on a personal basis, if you know what I mean. So the methodology that I basically used is I selected these YouTube channels based on content that I've interacted with. And this, I feel like, is a bit more representative in the sense that there is East Africa, which is Kenya. There is South Africa, which is Southern Africa. And then there is Ghana, which is West Africa. I'm afraid I didn't have anyone to choose from the North Africa region. I don't interact with that content that much, so I really didn't have any North African YouTuber that I could put out here. And one of the key things that I was looking at was also the number of people that are subscribed to this channel. I wanted to benchmark it at 200,000 subscribers, which I did. And then the data that I analyzed was just data that I collected over a 12-day period. This channel's content includes travel, lifestyle, wellness, spirituality, and documentary types. So for others, it could fall into almost everything. Then others would climb towards one thing, but most of them would fall on the travel and lifestyle a lot more. So now let's meet our YouTubers. Our first YouTuber is a young lady from Kenya, and her name is Miss Trudy. She spends her time between Kenya and Ghana because she is married to a Ghanaian. I've been watching Miss Trudy's content for the past before 5 years now, maybe 4, I think 4 years, I would say 4-ish years. I first started watching her when I think when she was just dating Wode Maya, who currently is her husband. And so Trudy's channel is basically travel, there's a lot of lifestyle things and just vlogging. Well, for me, vlogging, I have categorized as lifestyle. Yeah. Then we have I Am Marwa. I first met I Am Marwa also a couple of years ago. I can't quite remember how, but his content just popped up on my YouTube. I Am Marwa is predominantly a travel YouTuber. He also hails from Kenya. He's traveled around the world, Asia, the Americas, and as well as Europe. I Am Marwa's family is almost all on YouTube, and this is all thanks to his influence. I want to think he makes quite enough money for him to influence the amount of people, not only within his family, but also within the village that he comes from. we have seen his entire village now getting onto YouTube, and I see these comments in some of um, on the YouTube streets, as they are called, people saying, "Oh no, let let the entire Nyabohanse village just have their own channels." Others have also said, "Okay, if that is the case, this is like keeping up with the Nyabohanse." So there's a lot going on in the village. Well, thanks to I am Marwa. I think if he never got onto the YouTube space, the others really wouldn't have had the confidence to get on there. This is a whole case study. I think the case study of I am Mara is something that I might have to do entirely on its own. Then we meet Wode Maya to describe this guy. I just don't even have the right English words to it. Wode Maya has really documented the African story in an authentic and yet also inspirational way. Wode Maya's videos take on a documentary stance. He travels from country to country within Africa, documenting success stories, meeting some of the civil leadership within these countries, but also just telling stories of people that have really inspirational people that have made it from nothing to something within the African continent, and showing people around the world that being African doesn't equate to being poor, but that even Africans are also capable of making it within the African continent. I mean, he's also influenced other people who are maybe living abroad and coming back home, others who might just have been watching him and have seen the potential that is in Africa, have also come in to invest through his influence. Wode Maya's platform is really different and he is inspirational. A big shout out to him, and I would say he's one of our best ambassadors out there on the YouTube streets. And fun fact, Wode Maya is actually married to I am Trudy, Miss Trudy from Kenya. So that's a fun fact about this story, these two people. Then we have Mpoomy Ledwaba. Mpoomy is a South African YouTuber, started out very small. She is married to Brendan Praise. If you remember, if you used to watch Idol some time back, Brandon was on one of those Idols seasons. I can't quite remember season something. But that aside, well, he got married to Mpumi. They got married pretty young. Mpumi started her YouTube channel, and it's grown over the years, really grown. Mpumi is an inspirational speaker, so to say. She is Christian, so most of her content, especially the earlier content, was really based on a lot of Christian ethos. And even today, even now, she speaks a lot into the spirituality of things and also into general wellness and just the well-being, and also into women's issues. And she vlogs a little bit about her lifestyle too, just her kids, her home stuff. And she is a young lady that has grown, that has shown us that it's possible to make something out of your passion. She dropped out of school when she was doing so well, and just dropped out because she wanted to pursue her passion. I mean, that for me, I feel like was a huge leap of faith. You need to watch her and understand her story, and also just see the inspirational things that she posts out on YouTube. Not only does Mpumi have this as the YouTube thing happening, she's also a speaker. She's called for different conferences around, like in Zambia. She came this year for one of the urban for a conference which was being organized by the urban evangelist, a Christian a Christian woman here in Zambia. And she's also a singer. She sings with her husband. I don't think she's a professional singer per se, but she sings with her husband. They have some of They have done some renditions of certain songs really well. You can check that out on her husband's YouTube channel. Yeah, but well, this woman is inspirational. One day I might just do something different, just something about her on her own. Then we have Dee Mwango. Dee Mwango is also a travel blog, a travel vlogger. She's the young sister to I am Marwa, whose full name is actually Frederick Marwa. Dee is Diana Mwango. So Dee came to YouTube through the influence of her brother. Her earlier videos were basically just showcasing school life and village life. Then she was still a student. I think I started watching Dee first before I started watching Marwa. Dee's channel popped up when she was talking about building the multi-million home for their parents in Kenya. And so I started watching her. Then in retrospective, I started watching the other videos where she was showcasing the house they used to live in before. And yeah, they still do live in the village of Nyabohanze, but just showcasing that life and just showing people around the village, and that content really got people's hearts. I feel like these viewers and Mara's viewers are not very different from each other. They might be the same viewers. They have basically almost the same viewership. Dee has been doing a lot more travel blogging, especially for the videos that we'll look at. Unlike Mara, who's been doing more, I think, I would say more lifestyle blogging and whatnot. All right. So, for the videos and analysis, I picked 5 videos from the previous from 5 videos from the 5th, with the oldest being the oldest watched from the 5th of October going backwards. With Miss Trudy, the one that I considered as video 1 was a day with my Ghanaian brother-in-law. Then went in retrospective to a period where to the 5th video, which was my husband hides when we fight in Nairobi. The duration in which these videos were taken is a 2-week period. Then with Mpoomy, I started with video 1, which I considered the very last video that she had posted as at the time when I was collecting this data, which is Goodbye for Now. And then I went in retrospective and came up to video 5, which was Make the Vision Clear. And these 5 videos were posted over a 2-month period. With Aymara, I began with my grandfather died, sad day in the village, and then went backwards to Turning Point, Rwandan Cat African Village, which was posted in 6 days. With Wode Maya, I started with flying to the most expensive country in Africa, which is Angola, and then went back and I spent 12 hours with a Malawian billionaire and got shocked, which were posted over a period of 12 days. With Dee Mwango, I went with the last video as at the time when I was taking this data, which was fully watched, was first time in $100K BMW in Jamaica. Then the 5th video, which I considered going back, was Now I Know Why Kingston's downtown is feared in Jamaica. And these were posted over a 5-day period. So if you're looking at this critically, you'll notice that Dee Mwango and Marwa are frequent posters. They post on almost a daily basis. On the other hand, Wode Maya and Miss Trudy post a couple of videos in a week. So they don't post daily. They try to post at least maybe 3 on average, maybe 3 videos in a week. But then there are times when they post more frequently, and then there are times when they post less frequently as well. With Mpoomy in the last few, I think in the last few years, she hasn't really been so consistent in in putting out so much content on YouTube. I think this is also because she's been busy with speaking engagements and stuff like that. Yeah. So for the first data that I collected this on 5th October, which is 5th October 2023, between 20 hours to 21:30 Central African time. So the reason I'm putting the time is so that I just wanted to have like definite answers, definite numbers at the time that I was doing this, because it's difficult if I just left it open. Another person can come and argue, no, that was not correct. But well, I just tried to like arrest the time at this point in time. This is not by any means scientific. I didn't want to start thinking science, research methodologies, blah, 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 blah. So I just worked with the data as and when. So please, scientists, don't come and shoot me. So with Miss Trudy, at the time when I was doing this data collection, she was at 389,000. This is the first data that I had collected. She was at 389,000. And please note that the number of subscribers here is not the actual number. It is, it's not the like absolute number. This is the number that is closest, just the closest thousand. So it was all rounded off to the closest thousand. Yeah, so for this were the subscribers, of course, with Wode Maya being the one with the most subscribers, which is 1,430,000 subscribers. With those were the total views, the average views, and the percentage of views. What is most interesting here is that with Mpoomy, I would want to think that the content, because the content had been out there for like a period of 2 months. So from when you compare the number of views that she got, the total views, including the average views that she got according to her subscribers, I think the 28% representation of her subscribers, number of subscribers, is still okay, because this is under over a 2-month period. But then also note that because I was just getting this from YouTube, what I can see, I'm not sure which ones of their viewers are not subscribers, because there's also that whole thing with YouTube. But the owners of these channels would of course know how their channel is faring in terms of subscriber versus non-subscriber views. So, but this for me, I'm just looking at the viewership and the number of subscribers. With Wode Maya at the time, I would say it was like just a 5% of his viewership, of his viewership over these 5 periods would have watched his videos, which is basically, in terms of percentage, is a low percentage, but in terms of number, he is still the highest. He's still almost not really the highest, but he's coming a second close to Mpoomy Ledwaba, which for me is still a good thing. Then we see Dee Mwango at 14%, Miss Trudy at 16%, and Marwa at 10% as well. Like I said, Miss Trudy's viewership and Wode Maya's viewership might be very much similar, might be almost, some of them could be the same people, just like Marwa's viewership and Dee Mwango's viewership might be very much the same. I think the one that would really be an outlier here is Mpoomy Ledwaba, because her content is pretty much different from the other people's content, the people under consideration. Yeah, so for the second data that I collected, the second data was on the 17th of October, which probably is even close to the day that I'm uploading this on YouTube. This was between 12:30 and 13:05. So you will see that the number, I also tried to track the number of subscribers. You will see that there's a slight difference in the number of subscribers from the 12 days, from the 5th data to the 17th data. The numbers here have increased for some, but then for others, they've remained the same. But of course, what has increased across the board is the total viewership for everyone, because more people have viewed. I'm not sure how many people have watched some of these videos more than twice or more than three times or more and stuff like that. But this is just what I was able to pull out. You notice that in numbers, in terms of numbers, of course, still Wode Maya still is leading with the numbers. Marwa at this point has had an increase in viewership, in terms of subscriber, but also in viewership, same as Miss Trudy and Dee Mwango. The person who sort of stayed constant was Mpoomy Ledwaba, but then it could also be that she's had fewer subscribers, which of course I couldn't pick because I was only looking at the nearest 1,000, the nearest 1,000 there. But of course, Mpoomy still leads with the percentage in viewership, owing to what I suspect could be the percentage that she had, the time of the period in time that people have had to watch these videos. And yeah. Then one other person that we should look at is Dee. Dee's viewership has increased. And when you look at the videos that she did during this period of time, these videos were basically mostly the ones that she did in Jamaica, because she's been doing, in this period of time, she was doing Jamaican content. So I'm thinking most of the viewership from Jamaica has increased. So she's having more people going through that, going to the channel and watching the viewership and watching those videos, interacting with her there. So this is something to watch out for, because we'll also see how many numbers of subscribers she has gained in the next slide. In terms of growth analysis, the average growth in 12 days for subscribers, Miss Trudy had the 1,000, Mpoomy had like a 0, but remember, these are not absolute numbers. This is me rounding off to the nearest 1,000. Marwa had 4,000, Wode Maya had 10,000, and Dee Mwango had 9,000. Which in actual numbers, I would say Wode Maya and Dee Mwango are YouTube channels to watch out for, even in terms of growth. And I feel like these two are constantly getting new viewership on to their channels, which really is an advantage to them, because there's that difference in content. Wode Maya's content is appealing to a lot of people. This content is appealing to a lot of people. I would think Marwa's subscriber increase here has also been due to his Nyabohanze crew asking some of their subscribers to also subscribe to Marwa, so that he can get to a 500,000 subscribers, something that he's actually been consistently campaigning for, because that has been his aim to reach before November. So well done to Marwa for getting to his target. For me, I would still think that it's because she hasn't really put up new content as well. So this is what I say. Then the differences in percentage were over subscriber number. The biggest, what I would say, the person that has grown the most in terms of viewership has been Dee Mwango, with a 66.6% increase in her viewership from what was on the 5th of October to what was on the 17th. So in 12 days, she has increased her viewership by 6.6%, followed by Wode Maya by 2.5%, followed by Miss Trudy by 2.1%, followed by Marwa, of course, by 1.3%, and then Mpoomy 0.4%. Now, this is what I think. I feel that Marwa's viewership might have reduced in this case, because there are those that subscribe to him for travel content, and of late, in this period under review, Marwa's content has been heavily on just the lifestyle around the village, and it's been almost the same. It's usually just around the villa, and just interviewing people here and there, here and there. So I'm thinking some of his viewership that is really into that travel content has sort of gone on haters from watching this current content as is. But still, in terms of numbers, he's still doing fairly well, and I want to think he's making money. I'm not even sure how to make money out of this YouTube thing, but this is just me making speculations. Then, of course, Miss Trudy has been in the business for some time, so she has this consistent viewers that are viewing her. She's been doing pretty okay. Perhaps sometime I'll go and do a study over a longer period of time, if I have time, that is. Wode Maya, in terms of numbers, the guy is still pulling the numbers. In as much as his growth doesn't seem so bad, so much, I would say that in terms of viewership, Wode Maya is still doing the most, because remember, there are some of his videos that have a tendency to go viral. Dee Mwango baby girl here is just pushing, and she is pushing, and this is one YouTuber that I think we need to watch out for in Africa in terms of travel, because she's a solo female and she's pretty aggressive for a girl. I mean, she doesn't let things get her down, which I'll give her kudos. Um, so what do I think the growth factors are for Dee Mwango? I feel like her content is appealing to the Caribbean, and so she's had more Caribbean people viewing her over this period of time. I don't know. That is something that, of course, she herself can talk about maybe at some point in time when if at all she ever shares her analytics. Wode Maya, of course, has a very consistent, very strong fan base, of which I am one of those people in that fan base. I am Marwa, on the other hand. I feel that once he starts doing his travel content, he might get a lot more viewership. I just feel like his current content is a little bit on the blah, 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 blah. But of course, I'm still been watching his channel just to keep up with Marwa and see what happens. Mpoomy Ledwaba, I know when she gets back, these figures are going to change. I think it's been like this because people are interacting with her older content, and this content, since she hasn't been putting out more, so maybe people have forgotten about her. I know how people out of sight, out of mind. Yeah, I feel like she has lost a bit of viewership around this time, but when she comes back, I expect this number to have increased. I don't know whether I have the strength to do that, or whether I even have the time to do this analysis maybe a couple of months from now, just to check on how this data is looking. I'm not sure. Miss Trudy, very consistent, 2.1. Honestly speaking, this is not bad at all. So, what is my conclusion? My conclusion is that Dee Mwango, having that average highest viewership growth percentage, given a number of subscribers, if you were a marketer, I would say this is the person you would want to work with, because you look at the growth, and Dee Mwango has been pretty consistent with posting her content, especially with this this Caribbean content. So for Caribbean marketers, I mean, she's somebody that you would want to work with and whatnot. The content she did in Europe, I feel, didn't do that well. The one she did in Asia also did pretty well. But on average, she has the highest viewership growth percentage given a number of subscribers and over the period of time. Please note that this is just for 5 videos. It's not like everything else she's ever created. But this is just my analysis over a 5-video period. Then we have Wode Maya. Wode Maya has the most numbers in both viewership and subscribers. Wode Maya has a consistent number of people. Wode Maya is somebody that absolutely anyone would want to work with, because he's a household name. Anyone who watches YouTube and is interested in the African content, you just have to watch Wode Maya. He is that guy to watch. But I don't think he takes any gigs in that line. I'm not very sure, but I think I've heard him say something like that. Mpoomy, of course, I've already attributed as to why I think her growth hasn't happened so much over this 12-day period. But I would still watch out for her and still see what happens when she comes back. So my overall conclusion is that on YouTube, once you have the numbers, a 10 to 20% viewership of your subscribers can be considered a healthy viewership. And this is not only with the numbers that I've seen, but this is just even from what I have analyzed over the period of time. I feel like on average, people really just get a 10 to 20% of their viewership and still make their money out of that. Yeah, I'm not sure how much money they make, but I should think that for people to continue doing it, there is good money out of that. So this is an encouragement to all small YouTubers, is that grow your numbers. Once you've grown your numbers, also grow your viewership. Having numbers alone is not enough, and I think Marwa emphasizes this. Having numbers alone is not enough. What you also need is to have the people that are watching you the people that are subscribed watching you, because then that is going to push your numbers. When people are liking, when people are subscribing and doing all the things, it really, really, really does help. So thank you so much, guys, for listening in. I don't want this to go beyond 30 minutes. If you want me to do another analysis, please do let me know in the comment section below. Thank you. Bye-bye.